Daf Yomi, Masechta Shevuos, Daf Beis on Beis, top of the page with the words Alator Sha'achal Esatami. The question was, what do the goats of the new moons atone? What do they atone for? And so it says Alator Sha'achal Esatami. They atone for a ritually pure person who unwittingly partook of ritually impure sacrificial food. Rabbi Meir Omer Kol Hasi'irin Kaparasan Shaveh Al Tumas Mikdash V'Kadashav. Rabbi Meir says, with regard to all the goats offered as additional offerings, those of the new moons, festivals, and Yom Kippur, their atonement, meaning the atonement that they effect, is the same. They all atone for the defiling of the temple by entering it while impure, or for the defiling of its sacrificial foods by partaking of them while impure. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Shimon would say, Se'irei Roshei Chadashim, Mechaprim ala tohoi, She'achol esatame, V'shel regalim mechaprim al, She'en ba'yediyah, Lo batchila velo basof, V'shel Yom Kippurim נחפר על שאין בה ידיעה בתחילה, אבל יש בה ידיעה בסוף. Rabbi Shimon would say, delineating his opinion, as the Mishnah expresses it above, the goats of the new moons atone for a ritually pure person who unwittingly partook of ritually impure sacrificial food. And with regard to the defiling of the temple, or its sacrificial foods, the goats of the festivals atone for cases in which one did not have awareness, neither at the beginning nor at the end. And the goats of the additional offerings of Yom Kippur atone for cases in which one did not have awareness at the beginning, but did have awareness at the end. Amrulo Mahu Shikro Zevazeh Amralahan Yikruvu Amrulo Hoyo V'ein Kaparasan Shaveh Hech Krevin Zevazeh Amralahan Kulan Ba'in L'chaper Al Tumas Mikdash V'Kadashav. The rabbi said to him, what is the halacha with regard to whether goats consecrated for different days may be sacrificed, this one in place of that one? For example, if a goat was initially consecrated to be sacrificed as part of the Yom Kippur additional offerings, may it be sacrificed as part of the festival additional offerings instead? And my question was, how is this different than any case of Tamura, where a person wants to change the status of this animal to a different animal? It's not allowed, so why should it be allowed here? Why should it even be a question? That was my question, but it wasn't answered. Rabbi Shimon said to them, they may be sacrificed. They said to him, since according to you their atonement is not the same, how could they possibly be sacrificed? This one in place of that one. Rabbi Shimon said to them, they can be interchanged, since ultimately all of them come to atone for the defiling of the temple or its sacrificial foods. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda Omer Mishmon Se'irei Roshei Chadashim Mechaprin Ala Toy She'achol Esatame Mosif Aleihen Shel Regalim Shemechaprin Al Toy She'achol Esatame Ve'al She'ein Ba'yediyah Lo Batchila V'Lo Basof. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda says the name of Rabbi Shimon, a tradition of his opinion that differs from the way the Mishnah expresses it above. The goats of the new moons atones for a ritually pure person who unwittingly partook of ritually impure sacrificial food. The goats of the festivals exceed them, as they atone both for a pure person who partook of impure sacrificial food, and also for cases of defiling the temple or its sacrificial foods in which one did not have awareness, neither at the beginning nor at the end. Moisifayin shel Yom Kippurim shehem mechapen al toil she'achal hatamei be'al she'ein ba yediyah lo b'tchila v'lo b'sof be'al she'ein ba yediyah b'tchila aval yesh ba yediyah b'sof. The goats of Yom Kippur further exceed them as they atone both for a ritually pure person who partook of ritually impure sacrificial food and for cases of defiling the temple or its sacrificial foods in which one did not have awareness, neither at the beginning nor at the end. And they also atone for cases in which one did not have awareness at the beginning, but did have awareness at the end. Amrulo Mahu Amrulo Mahu Shiguzebazeh Amrulahen Hain Amrulo Im Kain Yu Shayom Kippur created Brashim Chadashim Avalhech Shor Chadashim created Yom Kippurim L'chaper kapara she'inot shelah Amrulahen Kulan ba'in l'chaper al tumas mikdash v'kedasha. The rabbi said to him, what is the halacha with regard to whether goats consecrated for different days may be sacrificed? This one in place of that one. Rishon said to them, yes, they can be interchanged. He said to him, if what you say is so, granted that the goats of Yom Kippur may be sacrificed on the new moons, but how could the goats of the new moons be sacrificed on Yom Kippur when they will need to effect atonement for that which they were not consecrated for, right? It shows to them they can all be interchanged, since ultimately all of them come to atone for the defiling of the temple or its sacrificial foods, even if each one atones for a different case. And for the intentional defiling of the temple or its sacrificial foods, both the goat whose blood presentation is performed inside the sanctuary on Yom Kippur and Yom Kippur itself atone. Al Sharabit Shvatoiva, Kalos V'Achamros, Hasdonos V'Shavos, Hoda V'Lo Hoda, Aseh V'Lo Taseh, Krisos Umisos Bezdin, Seir HaMishalech B'Chaper. That's right, you heard it, folks. Intentional sins, this korban was B'Chaper for. Not like someone else says. Okay? Anyway, the Mishnah delineates how atonement is effected for other transgressions, for all other transgressions that are stated in the Torah, whether they're minor ones or major ones, whether they were intentional or unwitting, whether one became aware of them before Yom Kippur or did not become aware of them until after Yom Kippur, whether they involve a positive mitzvah or a prohibition, whether the transgressions are subject to excision for world to come, or one of the court-imposed death penalties, the scapegoat sent to Azazel on Yom Kippur atones. I rest my case. Echad Yisraelim v'Kohanim, Echad Yisraelim v'Kohanim, v'Echad Kohen Meshuach. Ma bein Yisrael Kohanim l'Kohen Meshuach, Ela shepar mechaper al Kohanim, al tumas mikdash v'kedasha. Israelites and priests and the other priests, and then the high priest achieves atonement, must give equally. So the word asks, what is the difference between Israelites priests and the other priests? The difference is only that the priests achieve atonement for their defiling of the temple or its sacrificial foods through the bull that the high priest offers on Yom Kippur, whereas the Israelites achieve atonement for defiling caused by them through the goats that are sacrificed on Yom Kippur. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Kishem Shedam, Haser Nasim Bifnim Mechaper al Yisrael, Kach Tam Mapar Mechaper al Kohanim, Kishem Shevidui Shel Seir Mishalech Mechaper al Yisrael, Kach Vidui Shel Par Mechaper al HaKohanim. Rabbi Shimon says, with regard to defiling of the temple or its sacrificial foods, just as the blood of the goat, whose blood presentation is performed inside the sanctuary, atones for Israelites, so too the blood of the bull of the high priest, whose blood presentation is also performed inside the sanctuary, atones for the priests. And for all other transgressions, just as the confession made over the scapegoat atones for Israelites, so too the confession made over the bull atones for the priests. That's the Mishnah. Now we start the Gemara Mechti. Let's see. Tana mimakus salik, maishna etani Shevuos. Mishum etani chayav al rosh ta'im achad mikan. The Gemara inquires. Now the Tana is leading tractate Makot, right? We just finished Makot, and the tractate that precedes Shevuot in the Mishnaic order. What is the distinctive? What is distinctive about that? About tractate Shevuot that he teaches tractate Shevuot after tractate Makot? The Gemara answers it is due to the fact that he teaches in a Mishnah at the end of tractate Makot 28 for rounding the edges of his head. One is liable to receive 2 sets of lashes. From here, the hair adjacent to one ear, and one from there, the hair adjacent to the other ear, to be continued.